Hey guys, what's going on? This is Pantstar Dragon, and today I want to be doing a video about general tips for solo queue and climbing the ladder. And what caused me to do this video is, well, basically a bunch of people are commenting on my videos, asking how I'm Challenger and how I got there. Honestly, I don't even think these comments are like that bad. I feel like the people just don't really understand how I climbed the Challenger, so I kind of want to show these guys, and of course help you guys for sure, on how I climbed the ladder with some personal solo queue tips. And with all that being said, let's get started. Alright, so first off, starting this video, as you can see, I have a really good win rate on my account. And most of the things I'm going to be saying here is probably true. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? And so you're probably wondering right now, what are the secrets of solo queue? What lies inside in the head of this guy? Alright, so is it mechanics? Does he have godlike faker mechanics? Probably not. And that's why he plays jungle and tanks in the top lane. But he does have simple mechanics and knows how to play each champion to a certain extent. But along with mechanics, there's something called decision making, which is also involved in skill. Deciding what the best move in certain scenarios will obviously help you win games better. In fact, it's actually a bigger factor than just mechanics, because mechanics can only go so far. There will be some more tips about decision making later, but for now let's continue with some general tips. And the biggest tip I can give you is be consistent. Alright, so let's say you're a jungle main, but somehow you get put into the top lane because someone took your jungle. And your mentality may be something like, oh, my whole team is shit, I'm actually better than my whole team, so I'm going to go into a carry role and carry my team and play Riven. Well, that's kind of false, because you're at a disadvantage since you are playing in the top lane and not your main role. And the person you're probably facing has more experience in the top lane than you, since he probably mains that role or whatever, and will probably outlane you. And if you realize this, or if you feel like that the enemy is going to outlane you, then honestly you should probably pick a champion that's really good when he's behind or when he's ahead. And to sum up what I just basically said, pick consistent champions in a non-comfort role. Consistent champions are usually easy champions to play. Tanks are definitely one of the easiest mechanically to play, since you just have to soak a lot of damage. Don't play something like Thresh if you aren't experienced with him. Just because you see LCS players and a bunch of pro players playing him doesn't mean you're gonna magically gain their power and be really good at them. So yeah, pick easy champions in roles that you're not comfortable in. And adding on to that concept, I want you to learn to get carried. All you have to do is not die in lane or be consistent and do decent. Maybe say keep up in CS with your opponent without dying, and hopefully your team will magically do good in their lanes and you might win one. Now let me tell you an experience I had in like Platinum 1 or Diamond 5, and you guys probably experienced something similar to it too. So I think our top, middle, and jungle were doing really fine, and our bot lane was doing poor. And I think the Jinx was like 0-3, but our team score was like 8-5. And then all of a sudden this Jinx starts raging and saying, "This game is done, GG, blah blah blah." You know, typical losing mentality, right? And I just didn't feel like she understood that her team was actually winning and you could actually win the game just by letting your team do their thing. And so honestly, don't give up hope when you like lost a lane. Like, the game isn't over, and you know, there's a reason why the surrender is only available at 20 minutes. Okay, maybe say if they have like 6 towers on you and 10 kills, and you have like 0 kills and 0 towers, then maybe. But anything can happen, so don't give up hope. And along going with that story, I will have to give the tip of don't let your emotions get ahead of you. Remember, it's just a game, it's fun, and it's competitive, so that's why you kind of feel these emotions to, you know, get upset, get kind of edgy. But remember, you're also just playing it for fun, so try to keep it fun. And I do want to be talking about personally, say, how I deal with tilting or my teammates raging at me, etc, etc. And so first off, the way I deal with tilting is I actually don't tilt. It's actually pretty hard for me to tilt because, one, I'm really confident in my jungling ability and to do good. And the moment you feel like you're a shitty top laner or jungler or whatever, that's when you feel like you're going to go on tilt. So whatever keeps your confidence up, keep doing that confidence booster, whatever it may be. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. The reason I feel so confident in my jungling ability is because I feel like I'm better than most junglers in my elo. That, and whenever I jungle against someone in the LCS or a streamer and I perform relatively good or better than them, that's a huge confidence boost because, well, I just beat a pro, right? And then I guess that's why when people beat me in Nermals, they say, "So am I Challenger now?" And I say, "Yeah," and then they get a big confidence boost off that. And if I ever go on a lose streak, what I would do is stop playing the game and like wait and play tomorrow, or I would like look at my individual performance and say, okay, I did pretty good. Sadly, we lost the game, but whatever, I'm still confident in my skills of the jungle. But let's say you didn't do so. You probably had a bad game. Everyone has their bad games, I do too. And so usually when I have bad games, I just stop playing and see what other people are doing and learn off other people and improve my skill from there. Now let's talk about how I deal with people who flame me. Alright, so first off, I'm in a friend group where we usually flame, make fun of each other, etc., call each other inappropriate names that I will not say. So I have a relatively thick skin when it comes to this stuff. So I don't really have a need to meet people because I'm not sensitive. Some people are sensitive and can't deal with it, so I can see why they meet them. But I can usually deal with this stuff easily. And let's say there's someone you get in a heated argument and maybe you start flaming each other or whatever. Just think to yourself, is it worth my time to argue with this person that I'll never see or talk to? Probably not. So you're best off just not even arguing and getting heated up. You can mute them or whatever, but don't say it because it'll heat them up more. If I do get an argument, of course, I'll just say LOL and end it at that because, again, it's not worth it to get yourself all worked up. Next tip, don't criticize your teammates. If you do, you'll probably put them on tilt. And you probably won't ever talk to them again, and you'll be saving a lot of trouble for yourself, so just don't do it. Alright, now straying away from the psychological stuff and emotional stuff, finally we'll be talking about some general tips. So next up, play comfort picks. Play champions that you're really comfortable with, and don't force yourself to play something like, say, a pro was using like Rek'Sai jungle, and maybe you're just more comfortable on playing Kha'Zix than her. But honestly, it does help if you can make these meta champions and make them into your comfort zone, since they're strong in the meta. Next up, always have some comfort champions for each sub-role. So if it's not your main role, these roles tend to have smaller champion pools for yourself. An example for me would be I can play 90% of the champions in the jungle at a challenger level. But for my top lane, I can only play 3 champions, which is Vladimir, Sion, and Hecarim. For AD carry, I can only play Corki and Jinx. For support, it's Leona and Morgana. And my worst role, which is mid lane, would be Kassadin, but since he's kind of bad right now, I feel like I have to learn someone else right now. Along with consistency comes not dying. So this is a vague concept, and it's actually kind of hard to do, unless you kind of start thinking the way I kind of do. And the way I learned to stop dying was every time I died, I would ask myself how I could have prevented that from happening. And then so I would analyze the situation, what I could have done better, what I shouldn't have done, etc, etc. Some examples put out there would be, say you're going for a solo kill in the enemy's territory without your team to back you up, split pushing too far and you don't have the vision of the enemy, fighting the enemy's jungle when your lanes are pushed up. And there's a lot more, but I'm pretty sure you guys got the idea. And one thing for sure is don't blame your teammates for your death. There's always a way where you could have prevented your own death, or even maybe your whole team. Maybe say you're trying to contest Dragon, but it was a bad Dragon contest because you're 4v5. Now in this clip, let's analyze what we could have done better as an AD carry to prevent this death. Alright, so let's look at this mechanically. So mechanically, there's not much we could have done to prevent this death from happening. We sidestepped the Sion's ultimate, which of course would have hurt us, and probably killed us with the follow-up from his team. Could we have used our flash to flash out? Probably not, we probably would have died after. So no point in burning that flash, we'll save it for the next team fight. But now let's look at it at a decision-making perspective and what we could have done to prevent that death. Alright, so first off, it was a pretty bad fight from the beginning because, well, LeBlanc died at the beginning, Lucian's not even there, and Malphite's not really tanking for us at the moment. And so the correct move here should have been just not even going into this team fight and just doing something else, honestly. With no frontline to lead you and you're playing Jinx with no escapes, you're probably better off playing it safe and doing something else. Another way of not dying is if you feel like a team fight is lost, you should probably stop team fighting and start going on the retreat and trying to run from the enemy and giving them more kills. Next up, I have a little story about me when I was like in gold in season 2, and back then I used to look up the Odd One, and so I would used to watch his stream and stuff, and he changed my perspective of team fights and how you should play them. So basically what he did was he would go in team fights and take a lot of damage, but at the last second before he's gonna die, he would flash away and survive the team fight. And so that just changed my perspective of how to play team fights, and that is, as a tank, try and soak all the damage and try to survive throughout the whole team fight. My objective is not to die, just to soak. And then right when I learned that, I just saw my team fighting performance greatly improved, and I just concentrated on not dying in team fights. Another quick example would be right here. This death could have been easily prevented if I had thought one step ahead and knew that Lee Sin was going to kick me into his team if I went ahead of LeBlanc. Next up is going to be more decision making tips. So when contesting objectives, ask yourself, can we contest it? Can we fight a team fight right here and now? If the answer is no, back off, prevent yourself from team fighting and giving them more kills, and just stall out the game a little bit more and play it out. Remember, you're in no rush to win the game really quickly. You have a lead, so what you want to do is keep that lead. Alright, so next up is going to be fights will always happen, be ready to assist if you can see it coming in the future. This basically has to do with map awareness. So if you actually ever seen like High Diamond Plus react to a certain situation or fight, they're always like and respond really quickly and get to the action. If you actually notice in lower elos, say you're getting invaded in the jungle and the mid doesn't realize it until like 5 seconds after, it's just because lack of map awareness basically. Although of course pings will help and make them react faster of course. And by saying that, that means communication is key to winning the game. That's also another reason why I don't mute people. And obviously if it is a good fight, don't be afraid to start it, and some indicators of good fights are when you have a lead, you have a great probability of winning the team fight, so if you can fight those 5v5s or 4v4s, obviously, do try to do so. And an optional tip would be to duo. Pick a duo partner you think is really good, and hopefully he feels the same about you. And if you guys are really better than the skill level you're at right now, you should be climbing a ladder in no time. Trust me, it's a really better way, and it's funner since you're probably friends with the other person. But remember, if you do duo, what the matchmaking system does is match you with harder opponents, so be careful. Hey guys, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy this video, maybe you'll enjoy two guides right up there, mechanics and the black cleaver. And yeah, again, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm pretty tired right now. It's like 6:40 a.m. so I'm gonna head to sleep, and I'll see you guys next time.
Turn it up now.